Hey, how's it going? All right. You can do that right now. So, it's been a minute, dear listener, viewer, reader. Maybe you read the stream live as it's happening. I don't know. Um, it's been a minute. I got kind of caught up in stuff. It turns out that Cave Carson has Cybernetic Eye, which number 3 is out this week. I think it's this week. Number 3 is out. Cave Carson has an Interstellar Eye. Uh, Turns out that book is due at the same week as Nightwing. So basically, just like and then I had a friend here that stayed. He was supposed to stay here for the weekend, and he ended up staying until Thursday, which is fine. It's totally fine, but it did limit my ability to work and do extra stuff. It got a little crazy. So yeah, it was a little nuts on my end, which is why it's been a minute since we've streamed. But we're gonna try to do a longer one today, if Photoshop is willing and Streamlabs OBS does not crash. And yeah, leeching friend. Nah, he's just chilling. The thing is that like he doesn't work. He doesn't have a job. So which is fine. You know, whatever. Do what you got to do. He has actually a debilitating injury. He has brain trauma. So he can't work really. So he just kind of like hung out and played video games, which is fine. Like we played a bunch of card games. We played a bunch of like, what else did we do? We played Sushi Go. We played he's big into like board games and video games, and so we did a bunch of that. We almost played some Clank, but it was like too much for the room. We tried it too late at night. It was not a good situation. I started like laying out all the pieces, and everyone was like, no, giving me that like 1,000-yard stare. Where do I live? Oh, do you wanna come over and crash on the couch? Is that what you're saying? You want to stay here for a week? I'm here in Florida. Kate, welcome to High Society. Kate also streams. Her name is up there, right up there. Kate's been streaming some Dragon Age, but she also streams a bunch of art and stuff. Trying to keep an eye on the chat. So yeah, things were like a little crazy. So he was great to have here over the weekend because I got a nice break, and then it was like Monday rolled around, and I was like, oh shit, I gotta work, and it was the kind of like it went crazy. It didn't acknowledge your sub, Fake McCoy. At least you're in the chat. You're in the chat representing. Right down there. The reject state? No. Florida gets a bad rap. So, we're going to get into Florida having a bad rap in a second because I want to defend it. But while he was here, I did some spring cleaning, took out an entire bookshelf of comic books. Just freaking gone. Brought them down to Second and Charles. I was trying to fund getting a tablet because I want to switch to digital with comics. It wouldn't let me chat. Oh my god. Bookshade. Yeah. So actually, you know what? You could probably see. So I brought 800 comics down. Let me see if we can. Craig, can we pull the camera back a little bit so that everyone can see what's going on? Yeah, so we made a little bit of money. Picked up some ducklings, dressed them in clothes, and now this is my whole situation. Now, despite the vast amount of wealth you see around me, it was not enough to afford an iPad. iPads actually technically cost much more than this. I picked up a Samsung Tab A. It's the 10.1 screen. I already read Death and Glory on it. I read Death and Glory on it, which is the Bengal Rick Remender book, which I highly recommend. Bengal does like a lot of like the way that he does color is really interesting because he does it very selectively, which we can talk about on a later stream when I'm more prepared to talk about that. We can deconstruct it. So yeah, so I read that on there, and then I also read the War of Jokes and Riddles, the Tom King Batman run. I think that's volume 4 after the Rebirth, which, it's perfect for the tablet, because like those are not books that I want cluttered around the house. Like, I'm not interested in collecting Batman. I love Batman, but I already have a bookshelf full of Batman from my childhood, and I don't want any more. I'm trying to get rid of stuff, but I still want to read it. So it's like perfect for that. Digital is the way to go. But anyway, aside all that aside, what are we getting into today? This is what we're getting into. So this is Iron Man's lab inside this cartoon bank vault. Yes. I'm creating a rich narrative here. So yeah, this is New Mutants. This is a scan that I did, and we talked about this on earlier streams, how the inks were not great, left a little bit to be desired, little rough on the edges there. So but I wanted to recolor this because, like, the original colorist, this is by Rick Leonardi and Green. I don't know who inked it. Somebody named Green. This is a 1984 comic. So I was 3 when this came out. Yeah. So a little bit before my time. At any rate, like, the colorist just kind of like jammed, I don't know, just like flat color onto these guys, and like the only place that he even rendered was like the metal arm and the horns. And I saw this in the shop, and I was like, you were -9 when this came out. Yeah, so I saw this in the shop, and I was like, this cover is dope. I want to recolor it, but like, let me tell you, I don't know how this is gonna go, because I tried. First of all, the inks are terrible, and then I tried pulling the inks out, and like, this is what I got. So I actually kind of tweaked the face a little bit already, but like, I'm not gonna go through the whole thing and like despeckle. So like, I can try to like use filters to despeckle the zip tones that are down here, but my worry is that I will also despeckle like these weird halos around the inks. Yeah, so this is just a symptom of like, it's 1984 and Marvel is trying to save a buck, and they're using plastic plates instead of metal ones to print these comic books. Plastic plates were cheaper. The printing was cheaper. So like, as much as I want to try to like despeckle this thing, I think like the more that I messed with it, the like worse, and like you just went further down the rabbit hole. Is despeckle the scientific term? Yeah, it is. I think it actually is despeckle. Let's find out. Noise. Yeah, despeckle right there. You can see it. The evidence, the science. It's real. I know you're making a joke, but it's real. So at any rate, like, this is I already pulled out the you know, all the boxes and the logo and everything. Adobe writes the dictionary on artist shit. Oh shit, it is. Yeah. You have to leave right after lunch. You got a meeting with your mentor. You wish you could stick around. Hey, catch the VOD, Kate. Glad to have you here, though. Thank you for everyone who resubscribed, by the way. Kate, Fake McCoy, Boix resubscribed. Erica, I believe, resubscribed. Thank you for sticking with me. There you go. Hi, welcome to High Society, Fake McCoy. I appreciate it. I appreciate you guys sticking around, especially after I ducked out for like a week. Like I said, Nightwing, 45 to the printer. Cave Carson has an Interstellar Eye, number 3 to the printer. We doing comics up in here. All right. Let's focus. So, my intention was like, maybe I'll just like recolor it. But now I'm kind of like, should I just color on top of this? Maybe? Like, maybe we should throw this layer out. So what I have over here on the right side with the layers is a locked background copy, that's the raw scan. A copy of that, of the raw scan. A layer of black lines that you guys saw earlier. You prefer medium society? And then all the logo stuff at the top. So that's what's going on here. So I was thinking, oh, I should flat it, we should prep it like normal. But then I was like, well, maybe we just like fix it, you know? Like maybe we can just work straight up right over the scan. And let me be clear, there is no usable knowledge within this stream. Like I don't know what we're gonna be doing. It's gonna get weird. And this is gonna be like any means necessary, square peg round hole, let's fix this cover. Yeah, so like that's what I was thinking. Borica for life. Yeah, don't look at me. There's like this isn't going to tell you how to color comic books. This is going to tell you how to brute force your way through 1984 bad scans. Like this is going to get weird. So, okay. The plan is going to be, I wanted to like highlight the flaming sword, but I also kind of wanted to create like a pillar of light coming down, and kind of like mess with that. So if a pillar of light's gonna come down, then like we gotta get kind of dark. So let's oh man, I updated. Wow, that is it because it's locked? It's because it's locked. What happened there? Hold on. Oh, weird. All right. There we go. It was giving me a prompt when I was trying to fade fill that I have set up as a hotkey, and normally it does not do that. And now we are back, and I think it was because like the layer was locked. So I kind of want to like, the mentality is going to be, let's move from like a dark to light kind of thing, maybe. I do want to kind of like get in. Oh my god, this is going to be a disaster. I am already like a little upset. Let's you know what? Will the magnetic lasso work? I don't think I've ever used, I haven't used the magnetic lasso in like, oh my god. I'm just using it like a regular lasso. This is ridiculous. We'll just, oh my god. Be you, man. Be you. Yeah. This is it's already a disaster. Abandoned stream. So look. Florida's amazing. However, your perception of Florida is skewed. Just paint bucket everything. Yeah. I feel like we're gonna end up in that headspace. You met Robert on the weekend? Oh, that's awesome. Did you pick up some Heartthrob? Robert is a good dude. He was at where was the con? It was like TG something. I wish I remember. I think it was in Canada. Is that true? Is that true? Is that where you were at? You posted a BuzzFeed link in the Discord about Florida? No, don't believe it. So here's the thing about Florida. As soon as someone is charged with a crime in Florida, that becomes public information. So, like, all those Florida man stories that you read are a direct result of, like, this public information. And, like, a lot of times they won't publish this stuff until it's filed or post court date or whatever. So, like, it seems like Florida's crazier than everybody else, but I don't think it actually is. Toronto Comic Arts Festival, yes. You did gossip like schoolgirls about me? Oh no. Hopefully good things. Yeah, man, I'm excited to get into more Heartthrob. We've got season 3 on the way. It's gonna be the last season. We did all the covers are already done. I'm stoked to let you guys at that book. Stop trying to defend Florida. Look, and the thing is like, let's be real about Florida. It's never like spring break Columbus, Ohio. Like, y'all come here because it's nice and the beaches are nice and the weather is nice. Like, I don't know what you guys are doing with, like, you know, 50 days into springtime and you guys are getting snow up there. Not the kind of lifestyle I want to lead. Less talking about Florida and more talking about Robert. Let me tell you about Robert, aka the most handsome man in comics. He is not thrilled when I call him that. That's not his favorite. He gives me a look that's like he's like simultaneously a little bit disappointed and also I don't know, just like slightly angry, slightly disappointed, kind of like all three. All right, so let's try to like backlight magic a little bit. He's so tall and handsome. Yeah. When we were promoting a we were doing a signing of Heartthrob when Heartthrob first came out, at an Oni booth in Emerald City Comic Con one year, and I sent out 2 tweets right in a row that were like, come meet Robert Wilson IV, the most handsome man in comics, voted 9 times the most handsome man in comics, and also, and then I sent out another tweet that was like, come meet Chris Sabella and Nick Filardi, the people who look like they crawled out of comic book sludge, next to Robert Wilson IV. What I'm saying is he makes us look bad. He makes us all look bad. All right. Maybe that'll be a little better. Let's see. Start the screen. Okay, now we're getting somewhere. Now we're putting some real color down. All right. Let's fix this flaming sword. So, this is going to sound ridiculous, but this character's name is Magic, right? I'm pretty sure it's Magic. With a K. Maybe I should have checked before going live. Oh man. In college I didn't know who Iron Man was. and I feel like I'm getting judged in the same capacity right now. Currently, the chat just needs to catch up a little bit to judge me. To be fair, this was before all the movies. Like, y'all got the ultimate Cliff Notes. Alright. So, the sword is now... Hold on. I'll pull the horns out. So what I wanted to say is, you've never judged until today? Wow. So what I was going to say is, like, I think the sword fire is just normal fire color for magic. I did get it right, though, right? Yeah, it's magic. Yeah. She's, like, related to Colossus, right? Now I'm pushing my luck. That's what's happening right now. I'm like, oh, let's go into more detail. I can't just, like, you know, walk away with a victory. We wanna warm up the yellow. Not like that though. You gotta get the boots down here too. Kate is like, I know nothing. Yeah, I'm with you. Like, so here's the thing: is when I read comics when I was a kid, where everybody like learned who all these characters are. Your good pal Nick Filardi basically just read Batman. So if it's like not a Batman villain and they didn't pop up in Batman, then yeah, Colossus, yeah. Iron Deficiency Man is the true Marvel hero. Then so like if it didn't pop up in Batman, it was like not on my radar. Like I picked up, you know, Jim Lee X-Men #1 and like watched the X-Men show. But, like, outside of that, like, I don't know. I picked up stuff that, like, looked interesting, but, yeah, you don't just squat. You just love her design. Yeah, she's got a good design. I think most people probably don't know a whole lot about, whoa, she is getting very bright. Probably don't know a whole lot about the New Mutants in general. I actually kind of like that brightness. Let's get in and start painting. You only started reading comics 4 years ago? Oh, well, welcome to the fold, man. That's awesome. You ever read the big Batman Colossus team up? Yeah, that totally happened. Hey, I know about Batman. I know that didn't happen. But yeah, man, speaking of Batman and what I was saying before about reading digital comics, I am stoked, like so excited to start reading comics regularly again. The part of the problem that I was having was like when the time that I have to read comics is usually like right before bed, and like you can't, like, I don't know if this exists, like a comic book light, like, you know, my fiance, she wants to go to bed. She wakes up a little earlier than I do. And so like I found myself like that is the only time that I have that's like extra. It's like right before bed. So because of that, hang out in hell with a sword. Yeah. You dove in pretty deep. That's awesome. As in you have way too many comics in your unread pile. Hey, 4 years in, sounds normal. The thing about comics is like they're like once you start reading comics, you're like, oh, I want to read this thing and this thing and this thing and this happened for this thing. I'm gonna get this thing next. You know, you just go deep. You have to read comics in the afternoon or they won't get read. It's weird. Yeah, so I found that the only time that I had, and this is true of like any kind of like gaming or anything, like, is like in bed right before I go to bed. Like that's really, really the only time that is like not spoken for in some capacity, either by my job or the stresses that I put on my life, or like real life stuff as an adult, or like, you know, if I have the option, I will always choose to hang out with my fiance more than be like, no, we haven't seen each other all day. No, I'm gonna read comics instead. Please leave. You know, like So the only time that I really have to do that is like in the evening, and I feel like um an unruly unread pile. You're truly one of us. Yeah, exactly. Um so yeah, I was like, oh, this is gonna be awesome. I'm gonna actually like get to really like dive into comics regularly. I actually want to start putting together a pull list, a subscription list on Comixology, and I'm really excited for that because a lot of people don't understand like the whole like thing with comics, and like when especially with like Marvel DC books, is that like a lot of times when they decide to either continue the arc or kill the arc, like do a second arc or whatever, they'll like we work like 6 issues at a time, 5 issues at a time, and when we make that decision, it's usually like issue 3, issue 2. Like in between those two is like, are we going to do a second arc? How are the numbers? What are they projected to be? Like, what do the pre-orders look like? And so if you don't have like a good grasp of that, or you're like waiting for the trade, you're kind of part of the problem. And I was part of the problem for a long time. It's no judgment. I was buying stuff. I almost exclusively like bought stuff in trades, and so now that I'm like digital, and I'm not just like splurging at the shop like once every 3 months, I'm gonna try to not be part of the problem. You have one of those coffee tables that has a bottom shelf, and the whole bottom shelf is packed with 8 separate unread piles. Oh my god. They're stacked by priority. It's a problem. Yeah, it's a double-edged sword of loving comics so much that you start making them and then ironically don't have time to read them anymore. Yes, that is the struggle right there. That is certainly the struggle. Yeah, I see a lot of creators though be like, oh, I made comics all day. I'm not interested in reading them. And I think that's like, I don't know. I was like that for a while. And then I was like, that's stupid. I love comics. Like, I just gotta suck it up and like find time. All right. All right. So we're cooking. This is like coming along. All right. I kind of am not super into the fact that we stuck with like all these crazy ass colors down here for all these demons and stuff. Especially like this does not look good to me. Like the values are off. They just look a little weird. Let's see. We're gonna fix that stuff in a second. So I'm using a new Streamlabs. This is a little behind the scenes stuff. I'm using the Streamlabs OBS. I'm using the new OBS, not a new Streamlabs. And I also actually kicked down the scratch discs performance in Photoshop. So that hopefully we won't end up with like any more crashes on stream. Hopefully the stream will just run real great now. Let me catch up on the chat. Depending on who you ask, buying digital is still part of the problem. Yeah, so my fear is that like I'm gonna like, get that subscription box going on Comixology, and then I'm gonna sit down and be like, why is my credit card empty? And then I'm gonna like sit down at my Comixology app like after a month and be like, oh god, or after like 3 months and be like, oh god, it's out of control. Wait till you just have a piece of lumber over your to-read pile and use that as a table. Oh my god. Buying digital is 100% not part of the problem. I know so many people who are only served by digital. Yeah. The other thing about buying digital too is like if you are a woman and your comic shop makes you uncomfortable, like, and it's the only shop in the area, you can still buy comics. I hate that has to be a thing, but I guess that has to be a thing. All right. Okay, we're getting, I'm like trying to do like a little bit of bounce light in here. So by the way, because Cave and Nightwing both shipped like me 100 or 1.5 hours to get to a comic shop, and there's nothing there. There's nothing else there with visiting. Yeah, and then 1.5 hours back, man. Yeah, that's a struggle. You go when you can. I was getting a subscription from a shop in New York City that they were like mailing out at one point in my wrestle with comic books, and it was all right, but like the problem that I was having was that well, don't the thing about this is that we can't look that closely because the inks will start to fall apart. The problem I was having was like I was getting hammered on the shipping. There were plenty of legit reasons to go digital. Yeah, I know you're very pro digital. You were just saying that, yeah, part of your going digital does not help the to read pile. Yeah. All right. So that's looking a little bit pinkish, which is not really where we want to be. There we go. Nice and righted up. Let's work on the armor and then the face, and then we're going to try to tackle the rest of this. All right. Let's think about this for a second. All right, we've done all the thinking. Mission accomplished. But yeah, I'm stoked to go digital. There's I'm gonna try to catch up on Batman and catch up on Detective Comics, and then see what else I'm into, really. I might try to catch up on Green Arrow. I bought the first Ben Percy trade paperback. He's the writer of Nightwing, by the way, which I'm working on. Number 44 is out right now. 45 just got sent to the printer. And I actually the little thing above me that's displaying Heartthrob right now, volume 1. I actually just updated all of that. So yeah, I updated all that with like all new books and everything. I don't normally put single issues in there unless they're one-shots. I usually just put trades, but I'm super excited about Nightwing, and I'm proud of the work, and I'm proud of the team. Christopher Monahan, I don't know. He's really good. He's got this like 90s kind of vibe to it that is like super fun, and the way he draws, I'm like able to craft a lot of distance in panels, and it's really fun. It's just so much. He's really great. You should follow him on Twitter. Yeah, and Ben Percy. So yeah, I'm like, I dug his Green Arrow, and I'm like, oh shit, I should subscribe. Even now that he's left. So, okay. We gotta like, I guess she's gonna get lit from the sword? Maybe? But like, I do want to kind of like lighter. This is going to come together. Okay, full disclosure. This is going to come together a little better when we start to put like glows and stuff on there, because we have the sword that's glowing. We got like all her metal pieces on her arm that's glowing. The way Rick Leonardi drew the hand here is like really interesting, because he kind of just like drew a mitt and then like put shadows down. So we're going to get to play in that space. Monahan draws like a prime era Romita Jr. Yeah, man, that's a good analogy. He's really, really talented. I'm glad to be working with him, and I'm glad DC picked him up. He's super, super talented. I can't say enough good things. I can't say enough good things about that whole team. Like, I'm just very proud of the book we're making. Full disclosure, I have no plan. Yeah. So, yeah. Let's kind of like the weird mitt hand is happening now. So yeah, we kind of want to do like. So I was thinking like we'd do a pillar of light, but like maybe we don't. Maybe we just like light it from the sword. Let's throw a pillar of light in here. Chat, be cool. This sucks. Be cool about it. It doesn't suck too bad, right? Let's hold on. Let's get serious. Feather the selection, hide the selection. Okay, here's the issue. Here's the issue with this pillar of light. It's fighting the like mark making that's happened back here in the art. Like we're starting to kind of be at can we change the, oh my god, so many options. And here's the other thing. If we do keep this pillar of light down the whole thing, it's going to compete with the sword. It's going to compete with the shines in the armor. It's going to compete with kind of generally everything. Like the problem with doing we're gonna do a quick like shines 101 right here. So this looks really dramatic because it's light on dark, but like if we do shines in the sword now, those shines from the fire are going to be far weaker than they would be if they were on like a darker background. So I think what we want to do is not do a pillar of light, but lean into the sword being the focal point. So let's just see how this looks. Throw on a, whoa. I want to do it over the logo because the sword is over the logo, but I'm getting pieces of the logo in the selection. So let's get rid of that. A book that I'm excited about that came out this week that isn't mine, but I am excited to read is Flavor. Tamra does the colors for that, and it looks really cool. I'm gonna pick it up digitally probably this evening. Oh, you just read that? Cool. How was it? What did you think? You liked it a lot? Nice. I'm excited. I like, maybe it's because we haven't really been, dear reader, working on the Curse of the Iron Chef stuff. I've been working. I've been doing like sketchbook challenge stuff. I've been drawing, but like I just haven't had the time to. Oh, we're in RGB. That's why this looks so fucking good. I was like, this is suspect. this is suspect. But whatever. We're making it for web. We're rolling with RGB. Suck it, CMYK. We're never going back. Never putting another thing in print. Burning the bridge. Yeah, I'm excited to read it. It looks like a beautiful book. I'm getting to be a sucker for I'll get a toothy little brush here. Books with food in it lately. I don't know. Is that a trend? Yeah, suck it, C1K. Yeah, I'm getting to be like a sucker for books with food in it, and Flavor has that, so I'm all in. Yeah, I've been doing I tried sketching on the with Infinite Painter in Android on the on my tablet. Speaking of, like, I know I'm talking about the tablet a lot, but I got a lot to say about it. So we're just coloring the line art here. We talked about this in the last like couple of streams, where if you have line art that is gray and gritty, you can set it to its own layer, mask it off, and then just kind of draw in whatever you need, and it'll you know, do what you need to do, knock out the lines. Yeah, so I did like a sketch. I actually put it up on Twitter. I've decided to put like some sketches up on Twitter. This is so much better already. Well, to be fair, like, this is what we were working with. So just by like unifying the palette, I feel like we've taken a lot of hard steps in the right direction. But yeah, what was I saying? Yeah, oh, I was gonna put some drawings that I'm proud of up on Twitter every once in a while, but I kind of want to make my Instagram just coloring only. Maybe do a separate Instagram eventually. We'll see how it goes. But yeah, so I've been wanting to do some Curse of the Iron Chef, but I just straight up have not had time lately. I think we might do a marathon stream of it and try to get a page done at some point, maybe this weekend. I have a book that I'm trying out for, and then a little like 4-pager that I gotta get done by Monday. So yeah, I don't know. We'll see if it happens. I don't know if you guys know this, but Sketchbook Pro from Autodesk is free now. So if you ever wanted to get that, yeah. So I downloaded Infinite Painter. So, okay. Apple doesn't have Procreate, which is like what most people use. Or Apple has it, Android doesn't. Let's work on these horns. Actually, let's do the face, because I feel like there's going to be a lot of character in the face, and I kind of want to like figure this out. So I'm going to start by like just running a grad bottom to top, because she's lit from the sword, of like red to kind of like warm her up a little. And then let's put in some highlights. Now, what I'm worried about is that the highlights are going to get garbled in the zip tone, but maybe they won't. So yeah, without Procreate, there's no like single best like use this program thing on the Android. Trying to figure out how we're going to light this thing. So I tried Infinite Painter. I tried Adobe Sketch, which is their mobile program. And I tried Sketchbook, which is what you guys were talking about in the chat. Sketchbook I found to be maybe better for like final work, but the Infinite Painter UI I found to be much more approachable. Like, it's not as cluttered as Sketchbook is. All right. We're starting to get there. Yeah, it's not quite as cluttered, and it also, like, the only thing is that, like, the trade-off that you get is that Adobe needs to step up. Yeah. Their mobile apps are poop. Yeah. Agreed. The trade-off is that, like, you can't really make large canvas. I don't even know how large you can make the canvas in Sketchbook. But in Infinite Painter, you can't make it too big. You can't make like so I did this, like, witch girl with, like, with a cart full of ingredients and stuff for magic, and I liked it, and I was like, oh, in the back of my mind with, like, all of the Sketchbook challenge stuff, I'm like, maybe at some point I'll want to, like, collect this into a book. But when it's, like, you know, the size of the screen and 72 DPI, I don't really have that option. You know, like, it's if I'm going to put that in a book, I would have to, like, you'd think you'd be able to make it infinitely big. Yeah, I know. I see that kappa. But, like, I finished this thing and I was like, this is, like, a cool sketch program. And then I realized, oh, I can't actually do anything with this. Like, it's good for sketching ideas, but, like, beyond that, it's kind of just, like, there. I don't know. Yeah, you can't really do anything final that you can, like, put in a book. Maybe if I do, like, half pages of, like, 2 sketches on top of each other, but then we're, like, jamming it real small. I don't know. This is being a struggle, by the way. Maybe we see now. This is the thing about RGB. RGB screens really well and multiplies weird. Like, multiply in general is something that I'm like very comfortable with, and it's acting very, very strange in RGB. Both multiply and screen just act a little differently. Hey Eric, what's up, man? So yeah, I don't know how much I'm gonna mess with Infinite Painter anymore. Just due to the fact that I can't bring it anywhere. You know what I mean? Like, I can't make a little book. I can't do any of that stuff. So I don't know. We'll see. Although, man, it's so comfortable drawing digitally. You got it. Sketch fridge magnets. Yeah, that's what the world needs. The problem with Android at the moment is not having pressure sensitive pens. No, man. The Galaxy. Yeah, I was gonna say I use the S Pen. Yeah, pressure sensitive. The thing about that is that, like, that you're talking about hardware now, and, like, if we're talking about hardware, let me make sure that I'm getting the right eye drop. All layers, yes. If we're talking about hardware, then it's, like, up to hardware manufacturers to make the thing you want, you know? And not every hardware manufacturer is going to do that. But Apple makes all their own stuff, so it's like they just jam what they need. They're like, oh, here's a pen. Go nuts. I don't know. I'm lukewarm on this facial rendering, by the way. She looks like she got a little chubby face. And it also just, like, man, color's, like, looking weird. Maybe we gotta get to the sliders. Take it to the sliders. See if we can fix it. Oh, those hot sliders. RGB is weird. I don't know how any of y'all use this. It's like too rendered. You zoom out and it's like, what is going on here? From the leftover print patterns? Yeah, like, I think that's what's happening. Is like, the print pattern here and here, like, the places where I didn't get rid of it are, like, influencing the color. I think that is what's happening. I also think that, like, we just gotta, I don't know, like, wash it with a normal skin tone, which is bright red, apparently. That's where my head's at. And try to make the rendering a little less noticeable. Blend it in a little. Maybe we just cover it up, cover up the zip tones, like that. Is that the answer? Just like throw a grad over everything, like done deal. Cover up the trash line art. Not that Rick Leonardi made trash line art, but Marvel printed on plastic plates. That's no judge against Rick Leonardi. It is a judge against like how this thing printed. I don't know. Let's just get in there. I'm gonna do a little highlight on her nose, and then we're gonna make the lips pop a little bit, and then we're gonna move on from this whole situation. Yeah, did I scan this? Yeah. So yeah, I scanned this myself from the actual issue. I own this issue. This is from my personal stash. Like, all right, maybe that makes it look a little bit better. Yeah, this is my personal issue. So like, this is the raw scan that we had for anyone just joining us. Lens flare the face, problem solved. Yeah, you're not wrong. So this is the original scan for anyone following along or just joining us. Yeah, this is just like jacked up line art. You know, this is, I mean, it's 1984. You know, people weren't thinking about like, we need to make these issues to be preserved. It's newsprint on the inside, jacked up line art from plastic plates. Like anywhere they could save a buck, they were doing it. I don't even know like how Marvel was like fiscally at the time. There's no stream without Matt Garvey. Yeah, you should have spent a week of valuable time cleaning up the line art. You're out of your fucking mind. Yeah, I think so. All right, let's do the horns. So her horns are like white, right? They're colored white in this, but I think that the color is suspect. Yeah, I don't know what was going on with Marvel in the early 80s, early mid 80s. They might have been having a tough time financially. I think I remember Marvel like toying with bankruptcy back then. I think that might be a thing. Or I'm spreading dirty lies. Can anyone confirm in the chat who knows more about me than in the history of comics? And they were, you know, independently owned for a long time before getting bought out by Disney. Bankruptcy was later. Yeah. This might have been like when they were like, they saw it on the horizon. They were like, how do we cut costs? That could have been a thing. I think the horns are white. We're gonna treat them like white. Let's see if we can. Bankruptcy is late 90s, early 90s. Huh. Well, that makes sense because that's when I was aware of the world. So, I mean, maybe I was just thinking about it then. Man, comics were so different back then than they are now. I mean, that was like over 30 years ago. So, But I can't imagine like a company printing on newsprint nowadays. You know who you are. We've railed against it before. But yeah, I can't imagine that being a thing, you know? Like kind of like low quality stuff. Split the difference, mid-90s. Yeah, okay. So we want to put a little bloom on her and in the hair. You Googled 1996? You guys both got there eventually. All right, let's figure out what we're going to do with these monsters. So in my mind, I was like, oh, we'll just push that monster in the background, like way back so that he's almost like a shadow. I don't know if that's actually possible now, only because we are kind of like just kind of dealing with stuff on the fly. Like here it is, like kind of knocked out. Yeah, this kind of works. We're gonna silhouette him in like a weird way. So when I was talking about earlier about how was looking at magic horns and there's no consistency. Welcome to comics. Yeah, man, I get so many notes. So speaking of no consistency within comics, eye color is like a fucking killer for me. Because half the time you won't even, like, eye color isn't a thing. Like, you'll get a page from an artist and the eyes will just be black, you know, because they'll be in the distance or whatever, and you won't need to worry about it. And then we're trying to make the selection for this guy. Pretty sure that was the case for most comics in the 90s. Yeah, I think that was the case for most like illustrated media in the 90s. You look at Magic cards and, like, you know, they still struggle with eye color. Like, I don't know. I think it's just like a hard thing to nail down when you're making something, especially when you don't know how big it's going to be or how important it's going to be. Like, you need somebody in there being like, hey, what color are the eyes? I'm making a guide. And if you don't have that person, the guide never gets made. And then if the guide never gets made, like in the beginning, if the guide never gets made, then like you're off the rails. But yeah, I can't do. So Batgirl shows up a lot in Nightwing, because you know, Dick and Barb, and they I cannot ever remember that Barbara's eye color is green. Like, it's every time I default to blue for some reason. Just in my head canon. Magic card coloring critique stream, please. Oh God. Are you ready for me to talk about magic cards for 6 hours? Magic card art? Cause I'll do it. And we will hemorrhage subscribers while it happens. I have a lot of strong, like, I love the game of Magic, and I have a lot of strong opinions about every aspect of the game. You could think of weirder things, yeah. Yeah, and how homogenized it's turned out to be. Yep. And add 2 minutes about how cool stasis is. Yes. That's part of it. Part of it is that, like, so comics right now is not dealing with this. Comics right now is more diverse than ever. Like, you can get any kind of comic ever. Like, you know, we have, you know, Jeremy Hahn, who we work with, I work with on The Realm, is sitting right next to Babs Tarr, which is sitting next to Declan, which is sitting next to, you know, mainstream superhero books. You know, like, all these books are sharing space on the shelf. You could think of weirder things. Cough, cough, DJ Nick. Oh, you mean your DJ's favorite DJ? Yeah, we got weird for that stream. That's for sure. Um, but yeah, I so comics is more diverse than ever. Magic, however, has like kind of like shrunk into this like everybody who read about fantasy art and grew up with a certain type of fantasy art is now making art digitally, and they are all making the same art. Like a lot of Magic cards all look the same, and it's because the people making them are sticking to these guides, and Magic is like, you know, editorializing, or editorial is like pushing them in. I assume this is what's happening, by the way. I don't know if this is 100% correct, but it looks like editorial is like, stick to the guide, make it look like this, and then when they get like a weird card, they're like, no, we can't do that, it's got to look like this, you know. The Evanescence Disturbed mix still haunts my dreams. Oh man. Yeah, I want to do some more DJ, what is it? I almost called it DJ Hero, and it is not DJ Hero, but DJ Hero is also great. I want to do more, but I got to get more cards. That's the thing. And it's a 2-player game, Drop Mix. It's a 2-player game, and I'm like, I don't know. Like, I need another player. I gotta convince my wife or my fiance to pop in on stream. She is rightfully hesitant. Yeah. The books just dropped a link in the chat. Your DJ's favorite DJ hard at work. Yeah, they're basically forced to follow a guide now. Yeah. And you know, it's interesting. So like Magic cards used to be like the sought after job in the industry. And maybe it still is to like a certain degree, but now I feel like artists are like growing out of Magic cards in general. Like they do Magic cards for a while, they don't have fun anymore, and then they do other stuff. They like make their own IPs. Yeah, that clip is too dank. How dare you throw that in there? All right, so we gotta tweak the tail. So I get to do what I'm doing right now a lot in Nightwing, where like I'm creating depth using color. Chris sets up these beautiful shots where I'm able to just be like, oh, foreground, middle ground, background, boom, let's do this thing. It's awesome. I love it. Maybe like I've leveled up and I don't realize it because like I'm seeing it everywhere now, but like thank you, Robin. Glad you're digging the colors. We're trying. We're updating and trying. Yeah, maybe I'm just like seeing it in all kinds of places that I didn't see it before, but whew. Apparently they don't pay nearly enough either. The only way people make money from them is by selling prints and other merch. Yeah, it sucks if you got to be like, I'm a full-time Magic painter and I can't pay the bills, so now I have to sell prints, you know, like that's rough. Like selling prints on the side is cool if you got time to do it, but it's like, oh, now you have to manage like that aspect of the business in addition to everything else. I mean, like, I don't want to shit talk Magic cards because like I do also love Magic cards. Artist proofs are a huge market. Yeah, I've bought some artist proofs from people at Comic Cons that I've met. Other Magic artists. And they're kind of neat. Like, you throw them in the cube, you know, like get them signed, get them doodled on, throw them in the cube. It's a good thing. Man, for anyone that doesn't play Magic, this stream is going to be tough to get through. Hey, come hang out. We're gonna be doing comic books and talk about the New Mutants. Now about Magic the Gathering, let me tell you about Legacy Tron. your point about the diversity in comics is best exemplified by the blank anthology that I have sitting right behind me. Apparently you could say fuck, but you can't say something else. I don't know. But yeah, I mean, you look at the stands right now. Look at the best comics out there. There's like, it's such a huge diverse market. It's amazing. And like Magic cards used to be that way. They used to be like, you know, here's 50 artists, like, and it's all this interpretation of this world, and it was an amazing thing. And I think that what the cure for this is, so that we're not just like sitting here complaining, I think what the cure is like, okay, Magic the Gathering has a lot of different factions within the world. I think what they need to do, instead of just being like, here's the guide, stick with it, is to like talk to the artists, put together a team of artists that are all like similar, and then be like, okay, you guys are gonna have all the elf cards. What do you want to do for the elves? You know, like something like that. But even just by using the terminology elves, you're like locking yourself into like a visual language, which I also think is like stifling, you know, because Magic's not going to do elves that look like, I don't know, weird. I mean, I guess they have in the past. It's so diverse, even I can make comics. Yeah. Maybe too diverse. I mean, part of the reason why I'm excited about comics and I'm doing the sketchbook challenge and, you know, drawing again, I won't say I'm working on Curse the Iron Chef because we haven't visited that in a while, but we will. Part of the reason why I'm like doing that stuff is because I'm like, oh, there's a place for me now. When I got out of school in 2004, like I wasn't good enough to fit into the Marvel DC house style. And I mean, I've talked about this before on stream, where like I got out of college, had a shit ton of student loan debt, and then was like, oh, I can't fit in this house style. I can't make money. What do I do now? What's my most marketable skill? And I feel like that's like slowly going away. Like I feel like I don't have to be Sean Murphy to make money in comics. I mean, obviously being Sean Murphy helps in making money in comics, but like, you know, like I can find a following that enjoys what I do. Oh my God, that was wrong. Those grads were wrong. There we go. This is what we were doing. I don't know. Huh. Maybe we'll do a purple. Because I kind of want to have this like dude kind of in shadow. Yeah. I want this dude kind of in shadow. Maybe a red by the sword. Yeah. So he's like kind of blending in. We could even blend him further back. You bring down the house. Bring down the house style. So we can pull the color that we used for his line art and kind of like editorialize the line art a little bit. Be like, okay, I know that you thought you wanted it this way, but what if we did it this way? Like kind of put him in shadow back here. This is helping focus the light source a little better. I mean, we're getting closer and closer to the actual, not screen. Like, we're getting closer and closer to drowning out some of the actual mark making. But for my money, I feel like, and this is something that you got to evaluate when you're a colorist, is like, where does the artist want the viewer, and where are they putting their time? Like, for me, Rick Leonardi wants us here, like with magic, and that like here, like putting in like this kind of like hatching and stuff. This is a visual language that is telling us like, okay, don't look here. Like this is, I don't know, cloudier and shadow or like whatever. Like, this is not where you want to be. This is where you want to be, you know? We are going to fix this cigar, though. We are going to light this cigar right here. Just a little bit. I don't know. Maybe we can, maybe we can tweak it. There are so many outlets now to create a comic, and people in so many different styles. It's overwhelming. Yeah, so that's the flip side. So as an artist, great time to work in comics. Like, great time to just do what we do, you know? But if you're looking to sell comics, it's also really tough because it's so diverse right now that trying to break through the noise is really, really hard. You know, you are going to be like up against, you know, me and Declan and, you know, Rick Remender, and like, you know, like trying to break through that noise is really difficult. And you probably shouldn't blame it on stores if your book doesn't get picked up. Putting that out there. It's not the fault of the store. A store doesn't carry a comic for a lot of different reasons. Dude, I'm a selling machine. Good. Hold on to that. Oh dang. I'm wading into that discussion. They're suing stores. Good fucking luck. Yeah. I like the idea that they're suing stores. It's so stupid. Like, here's the thing. If you sue a store to get your book carried in there, like, you're opening up that whole situation to be like, okay, now any dairy product can sue a grocery store to be carried within the grocery. Like, it's so, that isn't gonna work. Like, what? I don't know. Whatever. Look, I'm just saying. There's a lot of different reasons why a store won't carry a book, and it's tough to break through that noise. Like, I sympathize with their frustration for sure. Yeah, the whole thing's a mess. Yeah, agreed. But I sympathize with their frustration because, like, it is tough to break through that noise. And it can feel like the whole world is against you. But in reality, it's just like, nah, man, we got to make room for Saga. You know, like, we only have so much room in the shop. You're going to sue Walmart till they sell your homemade sandwiches? Yeah. Good luck. Those are good sandwiches, by the way. I'm into sandwiches. So I'm into sandwiches, so I joined your Indiegogo campaign. Oh my god, we're wading into it right now. So many comics. Yeah, it's called the direct market. Yeah. You called a store that carried a lot of your books, and they were very sweet on the phone when you offered them a store exclusive cover, but they can't order more than 8. Yeah. I mean, you know, that's the other thing is, like, all of these stores are like human beings. They're all just like normal people. Why wouldn't you want to work with them? I don't know. Yeah, I mean, we don't have to get into the specifics of the thing. I'm just talking about in general. It's like tough to get your product out there, you know? I kind of feel like that is what's happening. And I mean, I'm not pitching a fit or anything, but like, I kind of feel like that's what's happening with Heartthrob. I think Heartthrob is a beautiful, beautiful book, but like, the readership is down-ish because I feel like, you know, we're fighting for space, and like there's so many good things out there that you know, like I can't fault anyone for not for being like there's too much to pick up. I only have so much money. I'm sorry. And then like not only that, but like comics also are competing with things outside of comics. Like they're competing with Netflix for your attention, you know? So it's not even like, you know, you can totally blame lack of sales on comics. It's a wild thing. So I mean, I don't know. If there was a right way to like sell comics and just be able to move product, I would absolutely do it, and I would tell all of you about it so you could do it. But like, fuck, man, I don't know. Like, I was actually having a conversation with Fortnite. It's that game's fault. Yeah, exactly. Let's sue Fortnite. People aren't reading comics because of Fortnite. Let's go after them. I actually all right, I think that this dude is well crafted in the back. I think we've probably spent more time on him than we probably should have. As I go in to spend more time on him. Yeah, I feel like, you know, it's tough to get eyeballs on stuff. And I feel like there's a lot of people out there who would really like Heartthrob. Like, I'm very proud of that book. But trying to get it's weird because like as far as comics go, it feels like and selling comics, time to make a Fortnite comic. Did you guys know that this stream is now Nickfil comma Battle Royale? That's what this stream is now, and I look forward to my many hundreds of thousands of viewers that are going to show up. Yeah. Yeah, I said Battle Royale and got punished. Yeah. Twitch was like, nope, you can't just do that. All right. So, okay, let's focus. Let's focus. We gotta, I kind of want to color shift these guys down here into kind of more structure. It's all the viewers coming in. Yeah, they crashed it. Yeah, it's the fault of the viewers. So, yeah, as I was saying, before I was so rudely interrupted, Streamlabs OBS, I really feel like Photoshop is crashing it somehow. I don't know, man, like, because we didn't have any crashes with the PSP stream. That, like, Photoshop hits a limit with the RAM or so. I don't know. I don't know what I'm saying. So we gotta kind of figure out what we're gonna do with these guys down here. I want to get them away from being like, I'm the orange guy and I'm the green guy, and I'm like, I kind of want to like push them into one particular color set, you know, and also when we go in to do rendering and stuff, actually do some rendering, changing the colors as appropriate, so that like, you know, like this guy's got like an armband over here, and we can kind of like tweak that. But yeah, I was talking with Jeremy Hahn about this the other day. We've been talking a lot lately about credit in comics and things like that, and you know, and moving books in general, and it's tough. Like, I wish there was a good solution for like all of this. And he was saying that, like, you know, it feels like with all the outrage on Twitter that like comics is kind of eating itself alive a little bit. I mean, I'm paraphrasing him here, and I'm also like, I don't know, he might not totally feel that way. That was kind of what I pulled from the conversation, but which I don't disagree with. I think sometimes people are more into the outrage than they are actually buying books, and that's part of the problem. I don't know, man. I would be shocked if like floppies for indie books are a thing in 10 years. Like, I would be really surprised if you could get your weekly hit of, I don't know, Cerberus. Like, remember when that book was coming out? I don't know. I was like, what's an old indie book? That's there we go. Like, I feel like the new model is going to be, and this is just me speculating, the new model is going to be, you come out with a book, you put it out digitally, or you kickstart a trade paperback, and then you put out a trade paperback. Like, you pick up the book digitally, you promote the shit out of it, and then, like, when you have like 6 issues to collect, you put it out of trade. And I feel like comic shops, and I think this is only going to really work with indie books. I feel like there's still going to be the Weekly Warriors coming in for Batman and stuff like that. But I do feel like comic shops are going to shift and look more like bookstores than they do, you know, with like floppies on the wall. But I don't know. I could be wrong. We'll see what happens. It's a weird industry. The thing about everybody in comics eating itself alive, by the way, it's I think, and here's just me speculating. I think that largely were comprised of people who are mostly shut-ins professionally, and that you already can't communicate well over text, and like things get turned into a mess and it's a disaster. Like, we are professionally an industry of shut-ins, and I think it turns into a disaster. It's the same thing when we meet socially at cons. Like, why drama gets started because like people don't know how to handle their shit. You see indie floppies going premium though, a little pricier but higher quality. That's interesting. I'd be into that. I'd be into, like, here's the thing. So like, I just sold like 800 comic books. But I've kept a lot of comic books, and I like stuff that's like a little bit weird, or you get a little something extra, or like whatever. Hold on, I gotta think about this. What are we doing with these guys? Do we just... We're still kind of like rolling with, this is the green guy. I don't know. Do we just start over? We could just start over. Could make them all green. We could color shift from here. Play with the hue. Oh, now we're talking. Maybe a red? Purpley red? Yeah, maybe this is where we want to be. Do you think they're going to become like vinyl stores? Huh. Yeah, so here's the thing. I really like when video games include extra bonus packaging stuff, like extra maps and stuff like that. You like Strange and Weird? Are you suggesting your own books, Matt Garvey? This is turning into your personal promotion, isn't it? Maybe we'll just knock them down and then like try to tweak from here. Let's figure out what we're gonna do for like eyes and stuff like that, and whoa. So like, you know, when you buy, like, I'm a big fan of, I mean, like, I grew up in the 80s and 90s when like you would buy a PC game and the PC game would come with like a cloth map, you know, like stuff like that. I really like stuff like that, and I wish that comics would do it more often. We did it a little bit with The Realm, where if you got the premium hardcover, you get like a you know, Me Like Bees track or album, you know, like a iTunes thing. So like it like tied into other stuff. You know, like I really love that stuff. And it seems like you don't see that a ton except for like very, very premium stuff like artist editions from people. And I would like to see that like make a comeback. I don't know if that would actually help the industry. And like obviously you got to like do the math and be like, is this practical to sell? Because otherwise you get into trouble. But like, I don't know. I feel like there's a way to make physical media work. You give away prints at cons. It helps. Yeah. Yeah, I feel like there's a way to make physical media work in like an interesting way. But the way the market is set up right now, it's like we're not quite ready to like do anything weird. Like I want to get weird. I suggested in Cave Carson, by the way, that we print a page on cellophane, like a clear page, like make a comic book that's entirely clear. But it turns out that would cost a lot of money. So maybe it's not practical. Are you guys into like, let me ask you this. Would you guys be into buying a $70 20-page comic? Because that's what I suggested. In a sense, that's what Kickstarter is. Yeah, for sure. By the way, speaking of Kickstarter, holy moly, that Hellboy board game, it tempts me so. That would have been cool. Yes, you're in. I think you're in the minority, Matt Garvey. I don't think the average Cave Carson reader would be into buying a $70 transparent comic book. But I don't know. Maybe I could do something like that on the side at some point. Don't steal my ideas. Trademark, copyright. This is an original thought. No one has ever had this thought before. All right, so we're doing like, I put like a cut and a grad through it. It's coming out very purple. This whole thing is coming out very purple, but like she's very warm, so maybe it works. Maybe it works. I don't know. Who am I to judge? Great, now transparent storytelling is in your head. Yeah. Your fantasy Vanta Black comic? No, I haven't heard about that. Constantiner comics that fold out? Yeah, that's awesome. I think I got rid of it actually. A comic book that was like a choose your own adventure by like this experimental artist, and he was doing like the pages are laminated and they follow arrows and stuff. And I think there was a way, like, I don't know if he necessarily did it the right way. I think he was a Japanese artist, and it felt tough to read. I think you could do it in a way where it doesn't necessarily is as tough as that. He went on to actually do, after doing the Choose Your Own Adventure comic, he did a comic that like is two books that you read side by side. It's freaking nuts. The guy is out of control. I wish I could remember his name. Blackest material created by humans, but it creates carries an electrical current. Oh, that sounds awesome. Yeah. You try to glow in the dark cover on one of your mind, but it costs way too much. Yeah. Man, it makes you appreciate that glow in the dark Max comic that came out in the 90s, huh? I'm still looking for that thing. I want to hunt it down at a show. By the way, speaking of shows, I'm going to be at MegaCon in like 2 weeks. Or like less than 2 weeks, like 10 days. I should probably start preparing for MegaCon. If you guys are in the Orlando area, you should come by. I'm gonna bring some Rick and Morty, because that's like a local show. I'm gonna bring some Rick and Morty hardcovers that I don't normally bring with me to shows because they weigh a lot of pounds. So if you're a Rick and Morty fan, I'm gonna have hardcovers there for Volume 1, and I will happily sign any books you got. So there's my promotion. There's my 2 cents. Michael Turner did a comic told from different character perspectives when it originally came out. Yeah. I like that. I like the idea of like getting kind of experimental with the medium. I threw a couple ideas. So we recently, by the way, I know we can talk about this because it got announced. Cave Carson Has a Cybernetic Eye is ending, unfortunately. So we had a conversation, John Oming and I, about like, okay, is there anything that you want to do that we haven't done? And so we were tossing around ideas, and I'm very, very excited. It's weird because like it's a book that's ending, and I'm still really excited about it. Like, it doesn't feel like, oh well, this is ending, let's just crap it out. It feels like this is ending, let's like blow people away, which is a good feeling. Glad you're digging the recolor, by the way. I saw that in the chat. I want to do some more recolors. This was actually someone suggested this in the Discord that we do another recolor. So this is technically a community suggestion, and if you want to subscribe some stuff, next week Comic-Con in the UK. Yeah, I will not be there, unfortunately. You still not read Cave? You got to give it a shot, man. We get real weird with it. Gerard and John both like were instrumental in creating, like, we basically got to make a visual language that was kind of like just let us do anything. It's really neat, really experimental. If you're like experimental weird comics, like, you will love it. It's on the pile. Yeah, I hear you. It used to be that going to Comic-Cons would really motivate me, to like, I'm gonna see all my friends, I gotta read all their comics before I go. And then that pile got overwhelming too, and I was like, I'll read it when I read it. No one's gonna ask me if I read it or not. No one's gonna quiz me. Don't quiz me. If you are a friend of mine that's a comic artist and you're watching this now, don't quiz me. Shit's gonna get rough. We both don't want to go down that direction. Yeah, I tweeted a little while ago about like a kind of half joke about like when I was in college, I was like, I have to learn how to make really great hands. And then now I was like, oh, I have to learn how to create an environment that allows me to draw really bad hands. Hey, Kate, you're back. Like, I feel like when you start making comic books, and a lot of you in the chat probably are, and on YouTube, shout outs to YouTube. When you start to make comic books, you think very detailed, like, rather than forest for the trees kind of thing. You're like, okay, I got to draw the best, like, superhero pose and the best hands and the best, like, I got to get all my anatomy right. When in reality, it's like, well, that's true and that's good, but like creating a language, a cohesive visual language is almost like more important than making sure everything's quote unquote right. And once you create that visual language, you can kind of do anything you want. And that's what happened with Cave. And what I'd say happened with like Kyle Starks's books. Yeah, good hands are sweat. Amen. Yeah, Eric's on board. Yeah, you kind of like, I don't know, you get kind of like, this is one of the ways that art school kind of like tripped me up, is that like I was taking these anatomy classes and they were like, this is how you do it. And a lot of my teachers were older, and they, you know, they grew up on comics from the 60s and 70s, and they were used to that kind of world. And they were like, okay, when you start making comics, you got to use a brush. You got to use a Winsor Newton Series 7, number 2, and then you gotta like go from there, and you have to have these kinds of line weights. And like, there was a time when that was true, but like now it's like, well, just do what you do, as long as it's like cohesive and interesting and like fun and sells. That's all you got to worry about. Like, I don't know, you can get weird with it. And yeah, I feel like Cave Carson was like one of those 1 in a million books, where we just, fuck that, it's all about these Pro Tools noise. Yeah, right, dude. So when I started following Becky Cloonan like super early into her career, I was in college and she like just got out of college. I think she quit college. And somebody was like, your art's so good, like what do you use? And she was like, oh, I live in New York City and I just buy dollar brushes from this guy who runs a kiosk down the street. Like, she was like, I don't know, I use whatever I have on hand and I just go, you know? Yeah, just draw, man. That's what you got to do. It's not about like, what kind of tools do you every time? Oh my God. I can tell you, one of my pet peeves is when people are getting into comics is like, hey man, what program do you use? What brush do you use? What kind of tools do you use? How do I break into comics? What's the right thing to say to, like, how do I, like, they're looking, because they're not actually asking that. They're not actually being like, hey, what tool is this that you use? What they're asking is like, how do I draw good? You know, like, what's the quick fix? How do I get into this thing? And it's like, dude, there is none. You just go. Like, you figure that stuff along the way. Yeah. You think people want to get like a baseline of tools, apps, or programs? I mean, maybe, but like, this is the thing, is like, my hand, it works differently than everybody else's hand, and my aesthetic is different than everybody else's aesthetic. So like, while Chris Somney is like using China marker all over the place, yeah, how do I be you? Yeah. Your baseline is called draw your ass off. Yeah. Yeah, while Chris Somney like fell into this aesthetic of like hard blacks and you know, like interesting you know, spot blacks with China marker stuff for like kind of this half gray, like that works for him. I tried it and it sucked for me. Like, it was not where my headspace is. And like, maybe, and I'm not comparing, you know, obviously Chris Somney is far more talented than I am, but as far as drawing goes, but like, you know, just because he's doing it that way doesn't mean that like your aesthetic is going to totally line up with his aesthetic and the way he works, you know? Thanks, Steve. Yeah, I feel like, and the only way you find that stuff out is like the same way that I figured out how to stream. The same way the stream looks good now versus like how it used to look when I started is like, I just started and then I was like, oh, I need this. Oh, I need this. And I'm sure the stream's going to get better and better just from me like learning as I go. Maybe we won't crash in the future. I don't know. Maybe I'll figure that out, for fuck's sake. But yeah, I feel like the ultimate tool that you need is just time and patience. Yeah, introducing the Nickfil Buns of Steel program. Draw your ass off. Yeah. I mean, that's what the sketchbook challenge is. That's what that is all about. like try to draw every day. Because like I'll be real with you, when I don't do something every day, I get bad at it. I get worse. And if you want to get better, you just got to do it every day. By the way, speaking of getting better, we also have a portfolio submission. So we're going to do another portfolio review soon. If you want a portfolio review of either a color portfolio or a line art portfolio or whatever, you know, I might not be able to execute as well as some with line art, but like, let me tell you, I will critique the shit out of it. I have opinions. If you are into that, for a low subscription price of what is it, $4.99, you get access to the rooms for in the Discord that are community suggestions and portfolio, and yeah, I'll do it up. We'll put you on the path to getting better. Still working on mine? Nice. Yeah, we've done a couple portfolio reviews. I urge you to they're probably not on if you're interested to check it out. They're up on YouTube. I don't think they're up on Twitch anymore. But yeah, we got some old ones. I think Johnny Lighthands was the last one. It was a very impressive portfolio. Let's color these monsters. We also had a community suggestion just recently of like doing some actual pages with like storytelling, which is something I always talk about, but I apparently stopped doing on stream. Keep in mind that doing it every day can mean stuff that improves your skills and in things unrelated to the thing you're trying to improve. Like reading comic scripts isn't writing, but you're definitely improving. Yeah, totally. Yeah, there's all these like, when you start to like take something seriously and do it every day, there's all these like auxiliary things that you will learn. They talked about this a little bit. I don't know if you guys ever watched the show One Fantastic Week on YouTube, but one of the fantasy artists, it's like a couple of fantasy artists talking to another fantasy artist about fantasy art, and one of them was saying that like he started taking some less projects, started having some off time, so that he started getting into LARPing, which I was like, that's ridiculous. But then he was like, so I started getting into LARPing, and now I know how all armor fits together on someone. So now when I paint somebody with armor, it's like, oh, I know where everything goes. And so you even when it's not art, they're super chill. You watch them every once in a while. Yeah. Even when it's not art, I feel like you will pick stuff up. You will, if you're thinking about it and you're like doing stuff every day, like you will pick up like auxiliary kind of like skill set stuff. You'll start to like funnel your brain through making comics or doing art or whatever you're doing. All right, we're getting close. We're gonna do some like flares and stuff. I didn't want to go too detailed with these guys. Like, I know we kind of just did like one cut and then like some highlights and stuff like that. The reason is because the more detailed they get, the more it's going to pull from the focus, which is here. So, man, as much as I wonder if we could kind of just pull a grad from top to bottom, because like this is kind of weird. Let's do it on a new layer. So that we can mess with the slider. So a lot of times, like if you're experimenting, you spent some time in Hoku's shop at TwitchCon. You learned a shit ton about weird things. That's awesome. Yeah. So here's the thing. If you're an artist and you, like, the more you mentally shut out things that you think you shouldn't like, or things that you think are weird or whatever, like, the more that you do that, the worse off you're gonna be. Like far and away. This grad isn't working. Maybe we gotta multiply it. This is looking fantastic. Thank you very much. Yeah, the more that you shut yourself off from the rest of the world, like, the more difficult it's going to be for you to, like, you're going to, as you go, like, long game wise, like 10, 15 years, as you go, it's going to be harder and harder for you to get, like, assimilate new information, and you're going to miss out on opportunities that are important. So, you know, messing around in a cosplay booth, like, sounds awesome to me. Like, I don't care for cosplay, and I don't care for, like, you know, I mean, I don't know. I do enjoy cosplay. Like, I like it at shows, but, like, I'm not going to do it. But I am totally on board with, like, messing around with stuff, and seeing how, like, things work. Because I just like craft, you know? This grad is not working. We did it wrong, chat. Oh, maybe it's working now? Maybe it's working? Let's see. We're trying to pull focus with the grad. It's super dark up top, but we're RGB and, like, nothing matters, so it's fine. You're new to your streams, you've been checking out the past couple broadcasts, and you've already learned a ton, so you want to say thanks? Yeah, no problem. That's what this stream's all about, just, like, picking people up, you know? Yeah, part of the reason why I started this stream is because, like, I felt like there was a lot of negativity in comics, and that hasn't been my experience, and I don't think that it should be behind any kind of, like, you know, you have to attend cons in order to get that experience from comics. It's like, no, man, like, comics are for everyone, and learning about comics should be for everyone too. Although you guys should go to cons if you're into comics. It's super fun. You don't ever dress up for Halloween, but there's a whole process thing you learned about. He does all kinds of 3D print builds. Oh, that's really neat. All kinds of manufacturing machines. Dude, I've always wanted to, like, mess around with 3D printers and with the end goal of, like, selling homemade action figures from comics that I've made, like, that kind of thing. But I don't know how, like, what the practicality is of that. This is the thing. I love stuff, and I don't know if you guys could tell with, like, me going on and on about stuff, but, like, I just want to dip my fingers in many pies. You love those tested videos? Yeah. All right, let's put some more bloom in on, like, the armor. I'm not actually sure. Oh, McComicker hosted me with 8 viewers. Thank you very much. McComicker also, by the way, does good work. He's drawing, like, every day on stream. You can go watch him. It's great. Well, yeah, let's put some flares in here. I did like these blue flares, but maybe that doesn't make sense because the fire. Oh god, the fire. We are on the wrong gradient. All right. We're, like, deep in the special effects. Some days the drawings are better than others. That's just life, man. Don't worry about it. Some days the drawings are better than others for me too. I'm hoping we're gonna do some comic pages on stream at some point in the near future, hopefully, and I hope those drawings are good that day too, because I've definitely had some bad days doing the sketchbook challenge. We're doing flares all over the place, guys. That's what we're doing right now. Let's do screen, not 30%. This cover would blow people's minds in 84? Yeah. True, one day I'm running low on the wool. Yeah. Yeah, this cover would blow people's minds in 1984. So, I'm doing a lot of flares in here. But here's the thing. We do want to preserve the silhouette of Magic. So let's preserve her silhouette. Yeah, I mean, they didn't have any of this tech in 1984. This is no fault to the original colorist, because I don't even think this kind of thing was possible. Yeah. Oh, your internet's been bad, so you've had to stream audio only? Well, I hope I'm talking enough. I hope that I'm being a wordy bastard. Yeah, we're gonna flare the shit out of everything. I kind of want to... So this is the thing. So we're working in RGB, which means all of the flares look awesome. And every time we put more flares on it, it just looks awesome. Which is a problem, because we're going to end up covering this thing in flares. Thank you, Kate. I think we might be near the end. Like, maybe we could have... Alright, let's assess the situation. Magic looks dope. She's got a flaming sword. These are good things. The demon in the back looks real good. He's like pushed back. We're creating depth. Here's the thing. So the dudes on the bottom, I'm still like struggling with. It's not that they don't look good, but like, I think it's because they are the same colors as the background and the guy in the back, and that I want them to be pulling forward. Like I want them closer to the viewer, and I don't think we're there yet. So let's see if we can just like mess with some sliders, change some colors around, like kind of like nudge them in a direction, and see if we can get there. And then, whoa, turns out using the wand is not really helpful. And then more red in the foreground dudes. That's what I was thinking too. Kind of like amp them into a pink. We'll see. Yeah, it was weird because like we were using the cover as like original flats, and the dudes in the original cover are so like all over the place. If I normally had a page like that, what I would do is kind of like put it into some kind of cohesive language, because like a flatter can flat a page and put anything he wants down. Like, that's fine. You know, you're not paying him to you know, color the comic for you. So if I had, and we'll kick it back to the original again so we can see exactly what I'm talking about. But like, if you remember, the guys were all over the place. It was like, hey, I'm the orange dude, and I'm the green dude, and like they were like all around the color wheel. And because of that, they were really hard to like wash with a particular color. Like if I had washed them with orange or blue or whatever, then we start to get into the problem of like, well, I washed it with orange and like the orange guy looks real orange, but like the blue guy now looks gray. You know, like you end up with like just a version of the spectrum that you already have down, which doesn't actually help you. So a lot of times when I go from flats, I'll like fix the flats in a way where it's like not only am I you know, making sure that like the flatter did everything right, as far as like, oh, you know, he missed a watch here or a ring here or whatever, but I also fix the flats in the idea of like, okay, this is going to be like, this crowd needs to look cohesive, so let's, and like the crowd doesn't have anyone important in it, it's just a crowd for storytelling purposes, let's like make sure they're all a version of blue or something like that. So that way, when you start to like wash out foreground, middle ground, background, they like work with you a little bit better. You know, like the color that you end up washing over them is going to work for all of them. All right, let's put some red in these guys. Maybe the purple. So this is the problem that we're having. If we kick up the red and kick up the yellow, I'm trying to make them quote unquote red, we're getting these like weird fucking brown colors. Have I ever tried gradient maps? Oh yeah. We could try a gradient map here. Where is it? There it is. So the way a gradient map works is like we have the lightest part and then we have the darkest part here. And we can set a color to the lightest and darkest parts. So like we can go, okay, that's the lightest part and then this is the darkest part, and kind of like adjust as needed, or we can add more colors in. You know, like this kind of thing. You like those for fixing crowds? So I've used gradient maps a little bit. We used it a little bit when we were trying to do some like digital painting. We'll put a rainbow in there. There we go. Now they're popping. Right, guys? Right? Call this one done. So I used gradient maps a little bit for when we did the... that actually doesn't look that bad. We might fade the gradient map and see what happens. I used it a little bit. Let me complete my thought. I used a little bit of gradient maps for the digital painting that we did with Chad Thomas's liner when we did the portrait of the vulture a while back. What if we fade the gradient map? Whoo! Did it just get hotter in here, guys? Is that just me? Yeah, yeah. We can add a little shines on the bracelet here. DJ Nick's got New Mutants on the dance floor. Yeah. The gradient map was a good call. Man, gradient maps for crowds. Maybe I should be doing that. Yeah, I think we're close to done. Where is this blue coming from? That layer. So here's a little quick fix. So I have this blue, and it's like leaking over onto the hand, but then it's also like messing with the silhouette of magic over here. So it's on this screened layer, this flare, and I like the flare here, but I'm not so much of a fan of this like edge that it's making. I don't know if you guys can really see this. It's making like an edge right here. And you can just quickly like make a mask, make it black, and then like mask this like edge out. This is kind of stuff that I do a lot lately. I didn't use masks at all before, but lately I've been using them a lot. So now that edge is gone. Well, that's all we did. Yeah, I think we got, man, we did this in one. Sometimes you set gradient map to like overlay or soft light and it's great. Yeah. We're going to convert you to RGB? Never. This did look good though. I'll take it. What would it look like if we kicked it over to CMYK? Let's just merge it all down. Let's see what it looks like. Not bad. We did lose a little bit, but look at this. Black channel all over the place. This could have been because of the original scan though. The conversion to masks is the first step to converting to RGB. Oh no. I'm on the path. Fuck. Just to, like, let's click over to the 1984 version, or we can actually open the 1984 version. I kind of want to shift. This is just me being super picky now. Where is... There's the logo. I kind of want to shift the New Mutants logo to echo the color of the demons on the bottom, if possible. Yeah, there we go. Like a little bit of red. So then we have some symmetry going on. Also, Jorby is really good at fixing the conversion. Yeah, man, just like adding another step into the process just doesn't seem like the place I want to be. But I mean, maybe we'll get better results. I don't know. The thing is that like I already feel like as a colorist that I am a little bit slow compared to most, and so adding more steps is not where I want to be ideally. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I should embrace it. Nick, I always work at CMYK Flaherty. We goofed it. We were too deep in the process. I also want to shift this Marvel green over here, but I think if we color shift, it's gonna start to look weird. It's gonna be more trouble than it's worth. Maybe not. I don't know. Maybe the green's good. Maybe the green's good. Don't do it. CMYK for life. Just one more step. It won't hurt anymore. Oh my god. Am I not batching actions? I have some actions batched. Like image size, flatten, super black, that kind of stuff. And like, the fades and everything, but like, I don't go too deep. Like a lot of me talking about the stuff that I do on stream is like I want to communicate to you guys that like if you're starting to like get into coloring in general, put Local Joe in that corner box. Oh man. If you guys are starting to get into coloring in general, like while batching actions and converting from RGB to CMYK and like using masks and stuff like that are all viable things that Photoshop does. You don't necessarily need all that stuff to start. Like the part of the reason why I'm doing the stream is to show you that, like, if you're interested in coloring comics and you're like, oh, the process is too intense, I'll never learn it. It's like anything else, it's about learning small steps at a time. And a lot of times, like, I color stuff with a slant towards, like, my process is like banging rocks together. Like, it's not rocket science. It's like, you know, I work on one layer, I get it done, although we're up fucking 10 layers over here. We're deep in here. Anyway, let's, hold on. There's the original. Let's stack them together. Look at that. I think we did a good job. I think we blew up 1984. One step closer to the edge. All right, so let's talk about what we got going on in the future. We are definitely going to be doing a portfolio review. That's coming up. Let's see. The portfolio review we got. My Discord is not working, apparently. All right. The Discord I have, it's from Black Mule in the Discord. That's the portfolio that I have from him. Him or her. 1984 just called. We blew it up. Where did I sign it? Yeah, I do got to sign it. I'll sign it over here with Leonardi and Green. So we got a portfolio review coming up. I don't know what we're going to do for the next piece of art that we're going to do. We're going to probably try to do some Curse of the Iron Chef, because I'm like kind of high on drawing right now. Yeah, you wish the magic face line art was a little bit better? Yeah. I mean, I don't know. It is what it is. Leonardi's real good, but occasionally, you know, it's just a sign of the times. It was 1984. So, yeah, we're going to do some Curse of the Iron Chef. I'm going to do some drawing, hopefully this weekend. When we come back next week, I got to figure out what we're doing. I might try to set aside a Realm page, and we might do that. And you guys can get a little sneak peek at issue 7. Do a little promotion. Hopefully, everything will work and nothing will crash. And I don't know why Photoshop keeps crashing Streamlabs. It's so strange. But we might do some PSP games this weekend too. I kind of want to chill because I've been working about 10-hour days every day for the last 10 days. That's a lot of days. So yeah, it'd be nice to chill. So maybe we'll do that too. At any rate, I hope that you join us for all of that. Did you know there was a Realm comic in the 90s done by Kai Davis? I did not know that, but I will look it up because Guy Davis is great. You can Marissa. No wonder you were so knowledgeable in the chat. I didn't know that was you. Yeah, people are RGB versus CMYK right now in the chat. Yeah, let's go back to the vault cam. Here we are. So, what did we learn? Never work in RGB, and all of this will not afford an iPad. You will remember yeah, once you change your name, then I'll remember. So yeah, I hope that you join me for all that stuff. We got a lot of stuff coming up. I'm going to be back to a regular schedule without 2 books due in the same week, so hopefully we'll be streaming more often. Join me for all that stuff. Until then, keep making comics.